Hello, good afternoon, Miss Chandler.
Hi.
Hello, Melissa Brown. Very nice to meet you.
How are
Please
you?
come in. This is my colleague, Sarah Thompson.
Hello, Miss
Hi.
Chandler. Please take a seat.
Did you find us okay today, Miss Chandler?
Yeah, no problem.
You didn't get too wet in the downpour we've just had, did you?
No.
Good. Now, can I offer you some water or some tea and coffee?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
You're fine. Sorry, would you like some water?
Yes, please.
Okay, sorry, do you mind if we just pour ourselves some?
No problem.
Thank you. Now, Miss Chandler, I understand that we have around 35 minutes. Do you have any time restrictions yourself?
No.
Perfect. And Miss Chandler, would this be the first time that you're visiting a firm of solicitors?
No. I am part of the fraternity, so no, it's not.
Oh, right. Okay, all right. In which case,
I'm a criminal lawyer.
Okay, in which case you're familiar with the procedure that we're going to run through today. All right, well, firstly, let me just explain why there are two lawyers here today. Here at our firm, when we meet clients for the first time, we do like to meet them together so that we can initially bring both our experience to your particular case. And for whatever particular reason, should one of us not be able to be here at any point in time, at least you have another person at the firm who you have met, and hence you can put a name to the face. Let me give you our business cards. You'll see on our cards we also have our mobile telephone numbers, and we do understand that in cases such as yours, that events are not static, and an event may occur which you feel is really, really urgent, and you may need to get in touch with us. So hence we do not mind if you contact us on our mobile phone number out of hours.
Okay.
Now, Ms. Chandler, please feel to address us by our first names, Melissa and Sarah. How would you like us to address you?
Oh, Natalie's fine.
Natalie's fine. And Natalie, just initially, your first point of contact will be Sarah on this case.
Okay.
Okay, Natalie, before we get into the interview proper, we have our initial interview form, which we always go through with our clients at the first meeting. You may be familiar with this. This may be what you do at your firm. Basically, I have your name and address here. Could you just confirm that those are accurate for me, please?
Yes.
Yeah. And what's your preferred means of contact?
Mobile phone.
Mobile phone, right. I'll just asterisk that. Underneath, you'll notice it just has Melissa's and my details. I've also set out the costs of the initial interview. At our firm, we have a fixed rate of £50 plus VAT for the initial interview. If you should wish to instruct us further, which is no doubt you're aware you're not under any compulsion to do so, our normal rate is £150 plus VAT per hour. Obviously, if you were eligible for some form of financial assistance, then we would tell you about this, but you'll be aware yourself of the rules in relation to that. Confidentiality, again, as you will know, whatever is said within this interview remains confidential within the firm. We're obviously not at liberty to divulge it to any third parties without your consent. Now, during the interview, Melissa will take notes for our client file just to make sure we have an accurate record of everything you've told us. Obviously, as you know, the notes remain confidential too. Saying that, I would encourage you to be as open as possible, even if it may well be difficult, because obviously that will put us in the best possible position to advise you as to your situation. I've had your proof of identity and proof of address. As it stands at the moment, there's no evidence of any conflict of interest with any other clients within the firm, but obviously if that should arise during the interview, then obviously I will stop you and advise you to instruct other solicitors. I've also set out here our complaints procedure, which I would sincerely hope you didn't need, but it's there for your information, and a brief resume of our areas of practice. Have you got any questions about that, Natalie?
I'm somewhat concerned about if I said something to you which indicated that I had committed a criminal offence, the type of thing that the Law Society might be interested in.
Yes.
Would that be a problem? Would you think that it was your responsibility to alert the Law Society if you were concerned about some of the things that I'm doing?
Basically, whatever you say to us does remain confidential. It might be that we would advise you yourself to contact the Law Society, depending on what you tell us this morning, but we would not be able to go along ourselves to the Law Society and breach client confidentiality.
What if they knocked on your door and asked to see something that you had related to me?
Well, again, all documents related to our dealings between ourselves are covered by legal professional privilege, and therefore we would not be allowed to disclose them. And as you know, in a court situation, you are not required to disclose documents that are covered by legal professional privilege. So no, we would not be able to.
Even if I was being disciplined?
Even if you were being disciplined, it would still be covered by legal professional privilege. And as you know yourself, you're entitled to seek legal advice to support you through any disciplinary proceedings that the Law Society might take.
Okay.
Yeah? Does that set your mind at rest, Natalie?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. If you are completely happy after what I've explained with everything on this form, I would ask that you sign and date it. And then at the end of the interview, our practice is to go and photocopy this. You will have a copy. We will have a copy for our client file. Okay? So if I give you a pen.
I'm a little bit worried about your charges too.
Right.
See, I have a big practice, but I spend pretty much as comes in.
Yeah.
And I'm not in funds to any great degree at the moment.
Right.
So if, for example, I was disciplined, is there any possibility that the fees could be waived for that? Because I'm a member of the profession.
Well, you will, of course, have professional insurance. So I would get you to contact the Law Society about that, because it may well be that your insurance will cover that.
May not be up to date.
Right. Well, as you know, we would then have to, in assessing whether you would be eligible for legal aid, we would obviously have to consider your financial situation, which would look at which would be looking at your income.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, we wouldn't go on to incur any further costs above this initial interview without your consent. So at the moment, what you would be looking at is the fixed rate of £50. Okay. Yeah.
Plus the VAT.
Plus the VAT, which is, as you know, 17.5% now. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Brilliant. Now, Natalie, would it help you to have a pen and paper in front of you?
No, unfortunately, all of this stuff is pretty much at the front of my mind.
Okay. All right.
Natalie, if I could just run through how we conduct our interviews here. Now that we've got that over with, we'll probably just spend the next 25 minutes getting as familiar as possible that we can with your case. So this will entail you, as Sarah mentioned, being as open as possible that you can with us. We may need to follow up with some of that information by asking you some questions. What we'll then do is summarize all the information that we have back to you, so that you feel that we really do understand your case. And if at any point in time you feel that there's something that you have omitted, then by all means feel free to add it then. And of course, if there's anything that we get done that's incorrect, please do feel free to correct us. We will then give you our initial assessment of what we think your position is, and we will all conclude by agreeing what the most appropriate next steps are. So, do you have any questions? All right, then Natalie, would you like to begin by telling us why you've come to see us today and what you hope to get out of this meeting?
Okay. As I said, I'm a criminal lawyer, and I've been a pretty successful criminal lawyer. I have a lot of clients. The problem, it's not really been a problem. It's a problem now. I love my practice, and I like my clients, and we spend a lot of time together. And some of my clients do things like they're involved with substances that perhaps are not so easy to come by normally. And some of them are dealers. Some of them have access to things that other people don't have access to. And I tend to party a lot with my clients.
Right.